Hello musicians, recording artists and other assorted music business people. Liam here for Pro Tips for Independent Bands, where today we're going to talk about how to up your Twitter game. Roll the intro. So I've used Twitter for a long time. I got my profile back in 2010 when Twitter itself was only 4 years old. I've used it as an individual, as a band, as a production company. I've also helped some bands set up their accounts, as well as some authors and some online stores. I don't want to say I'm a Twitter expert or anything like that, but basically I know what I'm talking about, and I've done a shed load of research to make sure I'm up to date as well. I think in this video I'm going to be presenting you with a level of detail that other videos just haven't. If you feel like following me on Twitter to see what I actually do in real time, I am at LT Guitarist, and you should also follow at StabPanda while you're there. So I'm going to start by talking about how to create your Twitter profile, then I'm going to talk about how to create posts. I will also talk about my personal pet peeves with bands on Twitter, and also how to encourage fan engagement. Before we get started, you should also know that these methods do work and they will help you up your Twitter game, but they take time. You've got to stick with them and be persistent. Also, you need to subscribe to this channel. That's just a fact, I'm afraid. Do it now. Let's begin. Here are some things you'll have to do when creating your profile. Firstly, you're going to have to give it a name. If you're a band, that should be your band name. Obviously, if you're an individual, use your own name. Then you've got to create your handle. That's the thing that starts with the little @ symbol. If you can use your band name, you should do that. Otherwise, do something based around your band name. Or if you think there's another band with the same name elsewhere in the world, maybe put your country initials, so end it with USA or UK. If you're an individual or a singer-songwriter, maybe you add the word music to the end of it as well. Then you've got to look at artworks. So you've got your main profile picture, which I suggest is your band logo. Then you've got a header, which you might call a banner on other websites, which could either be a picture of your band performing live, or a studio pic, or something else to evidence the fact that you perform music. Or it could be an extension of your logo if you want. Solo musicians will often do this the other way round, so the profile picture will be just that one individual person, which is easier to fit into that space if there's only one of you, and then have some kind of artwork or logo as the header. I don't know why that is, but I think as long as you have an image of the band as musicians and your logo, that's all you really need. Either iteration is fine. Some bands are really clever and will overlay an available on Spotify or available on iTunes icon across their header. You could do the same with tour dates, album artwork, or a website URL. Lastly, there's your bio. I'd suggest either going factual and concise or making up some bizarre story that you have fun with. Remember to provide a link to your website or SoundCloud or YouTube or wherever people can go and listen to your music. Don't put a link to your Facebook page if there's not a way for people to listen to music on your Facebook page. Now let's talk about tweeting. What even is a tweet? A tweet is what we call a microblog. You make posts of up to 140 characters, which includes alphanumeric characters, spaces, and punctuation, on whatever topic you desire, really. Because you're so limited, it's important that you make your posts as concise and specific as possible. Don't be afraid to break out a thesaurus to help you do that. Also, and unfortunately this seems to be a recent addition to Twitter, URLs do actually count towards your character limit. Make sure you employ some kind of link shortener like bit.ly to make the most out of your limited space. Definitely make sure you're providing a description of what that link is, because otherwise people are just going to think it's spam and they're not going to click on it, are they? You have to make fan interactions as easy as possible. Remember to focus on the product, which is your music, be it a new music video, a new album, a new EP, or a gig that you're really looking forward to. One of my pet peeves is when I follow a band and go to their profile and there's no friggin' music links. What? Why? What are you doing? Especially now that you can pin an important tweet to the very top of your profile, so make sure that when you do that, it's a link to somewhere people can hear your music and something you want to be retweeted, replied to, and liked. I find that maybe between 10 and 15 tweets is the amount I'll happily scroll through to try and find music before getting bored and just going elsewhere. Again, you've got to make interactions really straightforward and really easy. Don't be afraid to ask for replies and likes and retweets. Those are what we call a call to action, which is basically a thing you want people to do. You could also include watching a YouTube video, downloading a track, or signing up to your newsletter. You just need to be really clear on what it is you want people to do. Aside from new music and the other things I've mentioned, here are some things you could tweet about. You could post pictures or videos from your recent band practice. Visual media works a lot better than text across all social media. That's important to remember. You could post about new gear you really like. You could post about new gear you really want. Teasers of album artwork. Other bands you really like. How much fun that last gig was. Don't tweet nothing. That's not a double negative, I don't think. Here's an example. Exciting stuff on the horizon, guys. Oh really? Then tweet then, idiot. Whatever you tweet, make sure it's consistent. If more than one person is going to use the account, which is fine by the way, make sure they both have a good understanding of punctuation and spelling, or at least an equally bad understanding of those things, and make sure you agree on whatever set of rules you're going to stick to. Consistency is really important so bands more or less know what kind of stuff to expect from you. Have a personal account in addition to your band account. Now, some people say that you should set up your personal account first and then acquire friends just through being social and networking, you know, the stuff this is meant for. And then when you create your band profile, you share it with your personal followers and gain followers to your band that way. This means two things. Firstly, when you tweet on your band account, you can share it from your personal account and thusly reach a different audience because your personal profile will have different followers than your band profile. Secondly, it means that you can post all your ridiculous political opinions on your personal account without it tainting your band account. Another one of my pet peeves. The exception, I suppose, is if your band is politically motivated, like I know a lot of alternative rock and punk bands are. And if being political is part of your spiel, then yep, go ahead and tweet all kinds of political stuff on your band profile. But only, as I said, if that's part of your band's whole image. Give some music away for free. I've said this before in many other videos, but you should be prepared to give some of your music away for free. And when you do, make sure that you're asking people to retweet as well as downloading. Leverage your existing fans, friends, and family into retweeting the living heck out of all of your posts. By leverage, I mean blackmail. Or just ask nicely, I suppose. The followers to following ratio. Some people feel really strongly that if you follow more accounts than follow you, basically if this number's bigger than this number, then you might not be worth following. It's some weird kind of hierarchy thing, but it doesn't actually mean anything other than the more people you follow, the more likely you are to actually use Twitter quite a lot. A lot of tutorials will tell you to either not follow many people or to follow loads of people, let some of them follow you back, and then unfollow them, which is not cool, really, is it? I think that's complete BS. I think that most Twitter users are a lot cleverer than that and will actually judge you more on your interactions, so how many retweets and stuff you have, rather than how many people you follow or how many people follow you. Tweet aggregation and automatic tweeting. If you're worried that you might not be tweeting enough to make your Twitter feed worth people's while, then there are ways to set up automatic posts. You can, for example, find a blog you really like and set up a system where anytime they post anything, you tweet about it instantly. Now, I've never used this kind of service, so I don't actually have any recommendations to make other than those services exist if you want them. You can also set up sites like SoundCloud and Reverb Nation to tweet on your behalf whenever you follow someone new, whenever you upload a track or set up a new gig. There's also services like Hootsuite, which allow you to schedule posts, so it's a little less impersonal than the previous methods. So basically, you could make sure that you post about your new music or the thing you're really trying to sell at least once a week, and then you can worry about tweeting news and real life stuff in real time as it happens to you. It's just one less thing to think about, you know? Lastly, hashtags. This is one of the really big things with Twitter, which actually got stolen by Facebook, Instagram, and all sorts of other places. You can turn a word into a tag by adding the hash symbol in front of the word. It's common to tag phrases and short sentences as well. You just have to remove the space from between the words to make sure it's all one lump of characters. Sometimes it looks nice to capitalize the first letter of each word. It just makes it a bit easier to read, I guess. The weird thing with Twitter is that you can actually find posts using a certain word without them being tagged. I think tagged posts tend to show up sooner on searches, and actually you can also click on a tag to see who else is tweeting about a certain issue. When you make a post with a tag, why not select that tag afterwards and find who else is talking about the same thing? Don't be afraid to start a conversation with that person as well. They might like your opinion on it and may end up following you as well. Because you're so limited on characters, try to work tags creatively into your tweets. For example, rather than new song from my band, link hashtag music hashtag rock, why not try new hashtag music from my hashtag rock band link? If you want to, you could also add some tags to the end of your tweet as well if you have space. I would suggest leaving a space between the actual content and the link and your tags to make it obvious that you're just spamming for likes, because that's what it is, really. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was our video on Twitter for musicians. Do you have any of your own tips that you'd like to share? Leave it in the comments below. Let's try and turn this comment section into a resource in its own right. Don't be afraid to ask questions either, and remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Stab Panda Music, as well as liking the video and sharing it with anyone you think would be interested. I've been Liam, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo. Thanks again for watching and hanging out. I hope you learned something. If you did, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It's our Patreon patrons who allow us to buy new lights, buy better gear, replace broken gear. Do click on the orange and white logo somewhere below me right now, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo.